Okay, so this episode is called The Freak Show. So Carrie opens up the episode talking about the first dates, the time of hope, women all hoping to make it to their final destination.
Oh my
state
God.
of holy matrimony.
What an interesting word, hope.
Hope.
To paint these people as hopeful, I thought was very interesting because they're so skeptical.
That's true. Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I think I lived in a little intersection of both of those feelings, though.
That's great.
Before
That's
every
good.
first date, of course, part of me, the reason I'm going is because I feel hopeful.
Yeah,
that this guy could be something. I'm not going on this date otherwise if I didn't have a bit of hope. But yeah, I am super jaded and skeptical the whole time too. It's like in a weird little intersection of those two. Anyways, we see Samantha on a date with Harrison, a litigator. She obviously invites him home. And, you know, he's talking about, he's a lawyer, right? So like, sexual harassment, that's my specialty. And
yeah, this is his foreplay.
This is his foreplay.
I thought this was very peculiar.
Very strange. He's like, yeah, well, you know, most sexual harassment cases are brought on by older women like you.
Ooh, record scratch.
Record scratch. Now, Samantha's been 35 for about 5 years now, but that's nobody's business. Shut the fuck up, sir. What the hell?
Yeah.
He's like, what are you, like 40, 41? Meanwhile, he looks like he's 40, 41. So like, I didn't even understand that judgment.
I don't either. And why are you fucking me if you don't know how old I am?
Yeah.
I know.
You care so much to keep mentioning
or you care, right?
Yeah.
Right.
So she dips to the bathroom. Poor thing. She's looking at her wrinkles in her face, and she comes back.
Oh God, that's back in the day when you had to choose between being skinny and looking old.
What?
I remember. Oh, what? You never heard that before?
And looking old? No.
Yeah. If you're thinner, then you definitely look older faster than if you have more fat on your face.
Yeah. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah. Jesus. So she's checking out her wrinkles. She comes out, and homeboy is in a dungeon closet, just all chained up.
Maybe a walk-in closet. Maybe. And it's filled with the cheap chains, with Times Square chains.
Whips and chains.
Oh, my God.
Oh, Lord. So the next night, the ladies go to Samantha's launch party of some sort. And just talking about how the men today are all freaks, right? There's always some weird shit going on with them. Miranda says if a man is over 30 and single, there's definitely something wrong with him.
That's so typical. I've heard that so many times.
30 and single is so... 40 and single, maybe.
30? I've heard 30, definitely.
30 and single?
Yeah.
Jeez. I feel like most men are still like growing up at 30.
Yeah, they are.
They are, yeah.
They are. Yeah, they are. But they usually find somebody by then.
Some of them, yeah.
Yeah.
Now, Charlotte... at the party, she meets a guy, Mitch Saylor. And Samantha's like, oh, that's Mr. Pussy. He is a world-renowned bitch for going down on women. And he's amazing.
Munch. Yeah.
He's a munch, yep.
I'm not dating anyone who is known as Mr. Pussy.
Why not?
Well, maybe I want more than that.
So Charlotte, of course, is like disgusted by this. Everyone's like, what the fuck are you talking about, girl?
Why are you mad?
hit the jackpot. Yeah, what?
No, we had one of these in my college.
He was known?
A known munch.
I love that. Just like the inner workings of women, just like sharing the knowledge of this guy. Oh my God. So yeah, Charlotte's like, oh my God. Meanwhile, some girl comes out the bathroom stall like, yes, bitch, I've dated him for a month and it was the best time of my life. Like, now, Carrie, the next day, we see just going on a string of different dates, right? She goes on a blind date with this documentary filmmaker who's just like talking all about money and he hates documentaries and just, she calls him the man with no soul. Then we see her on a movie date with another guy who just kicks off at the couple behind him over nothing.
Just angry.
He's angry. Man with two faces. She goes on another date with another guy and they're like at a little used bookstore and he steals a book for no fucking reason. Just because he could. And
I mean, he's like, girl, he deserves a second chance. He got $2 million and he knows how to steal. That sounds like a great life.
Like, oh God, it's a klepto for no reason.
Yeah.
So Carrie's wondering, of course, are all men freaks? So we see Charlotte in bed later with Mr. Pussy. She has the best orgasm of her entire life. And then we see all week long, he's just going down on her.
She's just calling him up.
Comes over. They don't talk about nothing. She's just living her best life. Carrie, we see later, is down and out at Central Park, sitting at the fountain, just pondering all these horrible dates she's been on recently.
Yeah.
And this seemingly nice guy just takes a seat next to her, and they kind of catch eyes, and they kind of joke a little bit about bad dates that they've recently been on. And she's like, all men are freaks. What's up with that? And he's like, well, women are the same. He's like, I swore off dating because you guys are terrible. And then he invites her out to dinner to go on a non-date.
Cute.
It was cute. They exchanged numbers. It was very cute little serendipitous moment. So yeah, we see they go out on their date. He's a editor at a magazine.
He looks it too. They got the writer type down pat over at Sex and the City.
And yeah, they're walking home. They have a nice little date. They kiss. There's vibes. It's nice. Now, Samantha, this little arc with Samantha, so ridiculous.
It's so real, I think. Especially for the time. People were real. I remember the narrative of you have to choose between being skinny and looking young.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Samantha, I mean, she looks skinny and young to me, honestly.
I know. She looks great.
She looks great. But we see her. She runs into her friend Monica. Monica's had some work done. And is talking
reverse
about,
BBL.
Yeah, injecting fat from her ass into her face.
Which is like,
what is that?
Remember when asses used to be small? Remember that?
That was before we were injecting anything into our ass.
Into the butt.
Now we're taking it out into the face. Oh my God.
Which is not a thing. I don't think that's real.
I was about to say, what surgery is that?
I don't think that's real thing. No.
What? Why am I putting fat into my face? I guess to make it
plumped up the lines, to make it look
so it doesn't look as droopy, I guess, or wrinkly.
Wrinkly. Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, Samantha, she announces to the ladies that night with the little ladies' night that she's getting a facelift or whatever the hell she's doing.
A reverse BBL.
Reverse BBL, whatever. Charlotte tells the ladies she's so happy with Mr. Pussy, and they grill her about how they don't date, they don't do anything. She's just dickmatized. She's like, not even really happy, guys.
Mouthmatized? Munchmatized?
Munchmatized. Yeah, not even dick. That's true.
Not even dick.
But she's trying to sell this thing. I'm just really happy, guys. Okay. Now, Carrie and Ben are still going well, and she decides to do a little double date situation with Miranda and one of Ben's friends. And they're walking along. Things seem to be going well when Ben's friend says he hasn't left Manhattan in 10 years.
Yikes.
And Miranda even mentioned just going to Connecticut. He scoffed at Connecticut.
Yeah. He was like, why would you ever leave Manhattan?
Yeah. There's no world outside of Manhattan. Just a weirdo.
Yeah.
So Miranda's like, I'm going to go. Got to go feed my cats. And dips.
I love how that was a code word for them. I was trying to think if we had one.
A code, yeah. I don't remember that.
I don't remember having a code. Whether it was a look.
Yeah, a look. Okay, girl, we gotta go. No words need to be spoken. We're just gonna look at each other
Yes, it's that. It's the head raise and the tilt.
Yeah.
Anytime I saw that behind somebody's back, I was like, oh, what time is it? Woo! Man. Gotta get home.
Time to roll out. Gotta get home. Sorry. Subways, subways are crazy. That 2 train. Which actually, though,
I know.
So, yeah, Miranda dips, and then Carrie's left wondering about Ben. This is your friend. The whole saying, you are the company that you keep. Your friend is a fucking freak. What the hell is up with him? So later we see Carrie and Ben making out. She flat out asks him, what's your deal? Is there anything I need to know about you? And he shows her this little Tweety bird tattoo on his shoulder.
That's pretty funny.
Friend, I couldn't help but wonder.
I couldn't help but wonder. Wonder.
Oh, yikes. Okay.
Could you date someone with a really dumb, bad tattoo?
I could.
You could?
I could.
You could do Tweety Bird?
Yeah. When he explained it, he was like, oh, it's a bachelor party. I was like, all right.
Yeah.
Right?
I think so.
No.
If it it depends on the tattoo. Tweety Bird's cute, so whatever, I'll take it. But yeah, I think a lot of people, early 20s, drunk, do dumb shit, get tattoos. I remember traveling in Thailand when I was in my early 20s. Tattoo places everywhere.
Yeah.
Late night, they were filled. filled. These crazy little British white backpackers in there getting all kind of tattooed. I didn't want to know what the hell they was tattooing to them bodies at 4:00 in the morning when you are drunk as shit.
Oh
Horrible.
my God. This makes me really wonder about Ben Anaya's tattoos. He probably got some crazy ones.
From traveling the world. Oh yeah.
Mhm.
Oh God. Let's see. So we see Charlotte at dinner now with Mr. Pussy. They're not in bed. She's like, all right, let's go out and talk. Let's get to know each other. And she's trying to make conversation, really trying to like do something, bridge some type of, convo. And my man is a mute. He then starts eating out a fig.
That was so disgusting. That was so wild.
Oh God. At the dinner table at the public restaurant. Can we not?
There's a tablecloth here, my guy. Can you not?
Can we not?
Oof.
Oh, man. Meanwhile, Samantha's at the plastic surgeon who's marked up her whole body talking about she can get this done and that done and nip here. And he said a knee lift.
A knee lift, yeah. That's a thing. That is
I'm sure it is.
Yeah.
But let me stop. I don't know who's listening to this, but... What knee lift people? Come on now. Come on. We have to find a little bit better than this.
What happens is a lot of these types of doctors are the kind who will not let you stop. They just keep going and going and going.
Yeah.
And they're the type that honestly, they don't get return customers. They don't get their best work is probably on celebrities who get the best nutritional care and aftercare. But otherwise, they're probably they don't have that great of results for people.
Yeah. Did you ever used to watch Botched?
I did not.
Oof, I used to love Botched.
Did you? I've watched a couple episodes. Those are two good surgeons, I think, those two guys.
Those two, yeah. And on Botched, they always had every episode was two people usually. One person who was very genuine, sincere. They had a really bad nose job or something.
Burn or something. Yeah.
Or burn, or their implants are lopsided now and they can't find somebody to help them.
Oh yeah.
So always had someone like that. And then they always had somebody who who's that lady? Nina Lepore or whatever? Huge.
Oh, Amanda Lepore.
Lepore. Huge tits or crazy lips or some crazy. They'd look like a freak show. And then they walk into Dr.
Paul Nassif.
Nassif. I was gonna say, was it Nassir or something? Trying to get them to do another surgery on them.
Yeah.
And their questions were always, who did this to you? And I always who is that doctor, that quote unquote board certified plastic surgeon who sat there and allowed it just kept cutting you up like this and taking your money. That's all it is. It's just taking advantage of you and your money, your insecurities, whatever the hell. Anyways, Samantha looks at herself in the mirror and is like, what the fuck am I doing here?
I know, she started crying.
She looked amazing. I was like, what are all these marks? Now, Carrie, still going strong with Ben. She sleeps over at Ben's place. He dips early, and so she's left in his apartment. And of course, she gets to snooping.
Oh my God.
She's dying to find out what is up with this guy. There's no way he's this nice, this normal. He has to be a freak like everybody else. So she's digging around like crazy, cigarette on her lip. Even that was making me nervous. I'm like, you're going to drop it and burn a hole in the carpet?
Right. I was like, girl, who does this? Just smokes in someone's house.
And inside the apartment. Ugh. So she's digging around. She eventually finds this locked box.
There it was, taunting me. Ben's secret box of freakdom. Home of illicit photos, love letters, maybe an old marriage license.
And she's like, I gotta pick this lock. And she's going nuts and trying to get it open. And of course, Ben comes home, catches her in the middle of everything. She gave herself the ill setup.
Congratulations, you played yourself.
Because
the worst.
You're either gonna get caught or you're gonna find what you're looking for.
Right.
You know? So he grabs the box, opens it, and it's literally just like his old Cub Scouts memorabilia. Yeah. And he turns to her and said, I thought you were a normal one. And then she learns that she's the freak, actually. And heads out. So, yeah, she kind of ends the episode saying anyone who's single in New York becomes a little freaky. But there's hope for all of us. Somewhere there's another little freak out there for you.
Yes.
It was a cute little ending.
Yeah.
So, Carrie, Lord, her question, are all men freaks? So, I want to talk about, what is this phenomenon where it does feel like every guy you go out with is a freak. It does feel
weird.
like, yeah, I'm talking to my single girlfriends. Even when I was single too, it's like back to back to back. It's just like this was off or that was, this guy, this and that. What is this phenomenon where it feels like there's no normal people?
The men in particular.
Yeah, or men. Yeah.
I feel like we can only speak to men. I haven't gone out and dated women, so I don't know how this is.
Same.
But men have so many cringeworthy qualities about them that they have so many potholes that they can fall through. There's just so many things, so many things, and we have gotten pickier as we have gotten more freedoms, more money, more comfort. We have gotten pickier, and so now we're like, you're a SoundCloud rapper. Even if it's on the side, anything even remotely cringeworthy, we're like, I don't know about that. We can do anything we want, right? We can have a podcast about The Bachelor, okay? We can do whatever. But men, you play the xylophone? I don't know. But I think there's something that to be spoken about in terms of modern dating. This was 2000, 2001 or whatever when this was written and published. In 2016 to 2019, we did have Lincoln from Broad City.
Oh, Lincoln.
And Lincoln was kind of freaky too. Remember?
Yeah. Well, he found his freak in Alana because that bitch is freaky as hell.
But I love how they wrote that male character, that very strong black male character. I really like how he was written because he was not always cool. He had that little circus school graduation they had to go to.
Oh, his trapeze graduation. Y'all need to watch Broad City. If you like New York-based shows, that is one of the best, honestly.
It is one of the best. But I love how that cringy type of like goofy nice guy was written because he was so genuine. Remember he was a dental assistant? Like he had so many things,
so many random little like hobbies or just like qualities, new characteristics about him. You're like, Lincoln, what the hell is this?
But I thought about him during this episode. I was like, they would have said, oh my god, that's so weird, he goes trapeze school,
yeah,
Yeah,
but they kind of normalized him also because Alana and Abby are crazy.
Yeah, but they're also not judgmental and nasty.
Yeah, true.
As these bitches are judgmental and nasty.
True. Yeah, that's true. Carrie, Miranda, Charlotte, Samantha, they only want to date a certain caliber of man. They pay very close attention to like where he works, where he's from, like what's he's wearing. Like, so their bar, it's really hard. Like a lot of things are giving them the ick, as you can see.
Yes. Yeah.
But I agree. I think as we get older, we do get a little pickier, which is not a bad thing. I think we become more protective of our time and peace. So things that are just like, that's not for me, we're going to cut it loose. But yeah, I think as you get older too, the dating pool gets smaller and it does start to feel like whoever's left is like, is it just the weirdos left? Like, where is everybody? Like, and if it's not even weirdos or freaks, it's just like guys who aren't serious, And then, it gets real obvious real quick on a date. Like, oh, okay, I see why you're single. Got it.
Yep.
Now, Miranda said, if a man is over 30 and single, there's something wrong with him. I said earlier, I think most men don't even start to grow up until they're 30. So I think it's kind of normal for a man to be 30 and single and not normal or something wrong with him. Or I don't think something's wrong with him. I think it's like normal. I would maybe reframe it to in 2024 now, if we were to reframe to 40 and single. If a man is 40 and single, there's something wrong with him. Do you agree? What do you think of those like sayings?
That saying. I think I don't like those hard and fast rules really. Yeah. Because you could have gotten out of a bad breakup. You could have been like strung along by somebody. I just think, especially in the friend, this era where I'm reading these romance books.
You and these smut novels, bitch. Call them whatever you want to call it. Romance books. These slutty ass.
Did you get the Tulum one?
No, I didn't get it yet.
See, I started you off on the sluttiest one. I'm reading like a romancy one right now. And it's very like sweet and romantic. but some of them are nasty. But anyways, in this era where we're reading all these books, I think we've talked about it, actually. We talked about it, that Cut article.
Yes.
So the expectations for romance are kind of high, but the men in those books are not perfect by any means.
True. Yeah.
You know, and they're usually ageless, actually, now that I think about it. We usually have a lady in her 30s.
Okay.
Marketing executive, typical like Hallmark situation, right?
Yes.
Marketing executive, big city. Just whatever, right? And then man in job that usually doesn't require college, usually requires strength of the body.
Okay. Brawn, a little brawn. Yeah.
And that's why he's been, he's a business owner, and that's why he's like spent so much time,
Right. Yeah.
So
Okay.
we're reading all these books, we're doing all these fantasies. Sometimes that could happen. Maybe he just opened a coffee shop. That's why he's single.
God. Always opening some small business in the neighborhood. Always.
That he built by himself, like
His own two
with
hands.
a hammer and nail. Yeah.
Oh my God. These books are setting us up.
I love them.
Oh Lord. I've had this conversation with my brother before around if men, what's Miranda say? If a man is 30 and single, that there's something wrong with him. I think it was during Love is Blind season, talking about Clay, a lot of stuff with Clay and what's going on with Clay. And he was like, I peeped from the beginning that Clay was a piece of shit. And I was like, no, what do you mean? Like, he seems like he could be. This was like early days, like episode 1 or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's definitely of the mentality of that you need to be weary of men who are single and 30 plus. The good one, he like very hard and fast about it. The good ones are gone. They're scooped up. What's left are the leftovers.
Wow.
Very bleak outlook.
Not just like divorced?
Well, he's talking specifically about the men who are between 30 and 40 and single, never married, no nothing.
Oh, okay.
He's like, beware of those, which you should be dating. He's like, you should really be looking at the divorcees. You should be looking at the men who do have maybe a kid or so. Yeah. Because they've been through something. They have experience. But the ones who are 30 or 40, never married, no kid, like, be wary of them. I like to think I'm a little bit more hopeful. I was like, darn, that is so bleak. That's such a bleak outlook for really your bleak species. Like, I want to be a little bit more hopeful. But I do, I have a little pause when you hear that he's never been engaged, never engaged, not married, no kids.
38.
Yeah. Your antenna has to go up.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah.
Because I'm questioning your ability to commit. 40 years on this earth, you haven't found one woman that you
didn't want to.
Or you didn't want to. Yeah. I'm questioning your seriousness to settle down. Are you ever going to settle? Or are you just chilling?
Right. Is this what you want to do? You want to be slutty?
Yeah. That's fine. Let me know. And I'm questioning also like what you're afraid of. What is the fear? Because I don't know if I have it in me to like dispel that for you. That sounds like something you need to do on your own.
That's a professional.
That's a professional. Exactly. So I heard Miranda. It was interesting. She said 30. I was like, 30? That's so young.
Yeah.
So young. But 40? Yeah, I can see that. Yeah. Now, as you said, you and I were both heterosexual. I've only dated men.
Yeah.
But if you were to guess, do you think men are experiencing the same thing? Like, are they also having these conversations? Like, women are all freaks. They all suck. They're all, terrible.
No. There's no way. There's no way. There's no way that's true.
I know.
There's no way. I think they're having trouble with where masculinity probably fits in the roles that they're experiencing, right? The bitches are too bad. You know what I'm saying? So they don't know exactly where to fit. But as far as that, they probably just can't find somebody who wants exactly what they want at the time when they want it. So you're probably finding a lot of girls who you want a situationship with that they're trying to have a relationship with you.
Yeah, I think that's probably a lot of, it's like misalignment of goals more so than all the women are terrible. Yeah, I agree. I do think, particularly in the Black community, men are coming across far more women who have their shit together than are freaks. Yeah. We have all the statistics with, all these Black women got all these degrees, they own their own home, they have no kids, they have to make their own money, they've gone to therapy, blah, blah, blah. So I'm more inclined to say that men actually have the pick of the litter when it comes to dating. And they're dating more quality women than anything. But men still have are allowed to have their own preferences, standards, their own icks, exactly. And yeah, so I think that I haven't spoken to these men, so I don't know, but I do know they have their own lived experience, right? And the same way that we're showing up dating and we're like, sometimes bitter, like, oh man, it's another date and this guy fucking sucks, like another bad date or whatever. I'm sure they must be going through their own string of, foolishness or foolery as well. Because as you said at the beginning, people are freaks. People in general are weird. So, but I do think men are definitely getting more, just better pool. They have a better pool. Period. They just do.
And women know how to adapt easier. Men don't like adaptation.
Yeah, all they do is adapt and
take
compromise.
They don't do that. They take me as I am. Oh, you don't like me? That's okay. I'll find a new bitch who will. Bye.
Yeah. That's so real. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Now, we see Carrie on a string of terrible dates.
Yes.
Have you gone on a lot of bad dates like this?
I have not, no. But I do have to tell you a story about a freaky nigga.
Story time. It's story time.
Oh, yes. Story time.
Okay. So, one day I was on NJ Transit at Newark Broad Street. And I sat, oh my God, it was one of those old leather chairs, right? With the rounded edges. You know what I'm talking about? So we're sitting there and this guy sits down next to me and he introduces himself to me and I introduce myself back and I think it's like so vibey, so cool. And then he says to me, I just want to tell you my job now so you don't get weirded out. And I was like, oh no. I was like, what is it?
What?
And he says, I put in the music for porn. I edit porn.
He's like the music supervisor on porn.
On porn.
What?
Yeah.
Whoa.
So we talked about that for a little bit because I was like,
I would have a million questions.
I was like, what kind of music is it? Is it royalty free? How do you find it? Like, what do you do? And he was like, I don't even want to put it in because when I'm jacking off, I don't want to hear no damn music. So I took his number and then he started getting freaky leaky over the text. And I was like, this is too much. This is too much, buddy. Then Lord. Almost 365 exact days later, he sits down next to me and asks me for my number again.
Are you serious?
Yeah. And I was like, I have your number.
Wait, he didn't recognize you? He didn't. What? So he sat down like you're a brand new person trying to spit his game again, and you're like, nigga, I know you.
Yeah,
you're in my phone.
Yep.
Oh my God.
Yep.
That is crazy.
Right? Isn't that weird?
So you never went out with him?
No, because he started getting way too freaky over text. I was like, this is getting like too weird.
Uncomfortable.
I had a bunch of guys do that. I had one guy like ask me for pictures and stuff.
No,
because I was a real in-person girly. So I had one nigga who from Penn Station, one of them military officers with the dogs.
Oh my God, the state troopers.
Girl,
National Guard.
I came up to one. His dog was like mad friendly. I was talking to the dog.
Oh,
and he was like so cute. All those like do not pet dog. Yeah, right. Yeah. And then I got his number. He started asking me for pictures. All this weird. Like they started getting freaky with the text.
So did I make it to the date? Yeah. A lot of men reveal themselves in the text right then and there. It's like, oh, okay, I am uncomfortable here, so I'm not going in person with you. Thanks.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And send me a picture first, nigga. Don't be like, send me a picture. What? What? I was like, ew.
It's worked in some realms for them.
Yeah, definitely. And some girls are like more used to that type of communication. I'm not used to that type, like FaceTime and all that. I'm not used to that.
Okay. Yeah, no, we're not doing this. Oh my God, friend.
Yeah.
The porn music supervisor
2 times.
Twice.
Yeah.
That is nuts. Oh my God.
Man. Yeah. What about you though? You've gone on so many paths.
So here's the thing. I've gone.
Oh, you've gone on okay ones.
I've gone on a lot of dates where just meh. That's the thing. Like when I'm watching Carrie go on all these terrible days, it's klepto, then this guy is fighting, and this guy I feel like most, from my point of view, I would love to hear from other people. From my point of view, most dates, there's just no connection.
Yeah.
The guy's kind of meh. The connection's meh. You had some fine conversation, but like nothing like crazy, like over the top crazy. My most memorable, I've talked about a million times, was the suspected Republican that I went out with.
What was he wearing? Was he wearing cargo shorts and New Balances?
Cargo shorts and New Balances.
Woo! Just like Bernie Sanders would. That's what Bernie wears.
Bernie. Yeah. So that guy it was definitely one of the most memorable and the one of the weirdest guys, because I'm just like, why? What are we doing? Like, I'm black. I work in education. Like these are things that we like foundationally established before we went on the date.
Yeah.
But then you come on this date to like want to pick a fight about affirmative action with me or whatever the hell. Like, he was playing the whole devil's advocate thing. Like,
what? No.
What about? And I'm like,
nigga, do that shit at work. Don't be doing that to
elsewhere.
me.
This is not first date material. Like,
join a debate club. Like, get out of here. You know what I mean? Do that shit for fun somewhere.
Please.
Ugh. Gross.
So that was probably the biggest like freak. But otherwise, yeah, just kind of normal guys.
Just
just
okay,
didn't.
right?
Yeah, just okay. It was boring, or just the connection wasn't there, and that's it. Not really crazy. Now Ben's friend, Carrie's date. The friend was a freak. He's obsessed with Manhattan.
A freak, but also that's a category of human, for sure.
Someone who's like
from Manhattan, never left
where they live. Yeah. Never
Mhm.
left in 10 years is ridiculous, man.
That is so many
She
people.
said Connecticut. Manhattan? So you haven't driven to Jersey. When she said Connecticut, he was like, oh. It's like, Connecticut is right there. What are you talking? You literally haven't left the island? That is ridiculous.
Or he doesn't feel the need to. There's a lot of people like that.
Definitely a lot of people feel like, I mean, New York is the center of the universe. I would say that always. But there's no need to leave. That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
But anyways, he kind of introduces this fear in Carrie that Ben is like, there's something about the Ben, right? Is a guy's friend or a person's friend a determinant of the kind of guy that he is? Are you the company that you keep?
I think this is one of the ways that men can really drive us crazy, because this is not the case for men. It's just not.
That's a good point. Yeah,
they keep friends around.
Fucking weird.
They keep them around for no reason. We saw this on Insecure written so well with Jay Ellis and Chad's character.
Chad was horrible.
Horrible, and he was always with him. Just
that
because
was his best friend,
always with him since he was 8.
Yeah.
He just keeps him around for no reason.
Oh my God.
Because otherwise he wouldn't have any other friends.
I know. It doesn't take much for men. Like they they bond over sports. Maybe they're in like a fraternity together.
Oh yeah.
They play
brothers
together. Yeah, brothers in fraternity. They are in a fantasy league together.
Yeah.
Yep. They went to high school together. Like, so just like longevity.
Yeah.
But there's like not much there in between. Like, didn't take much. Yeah. So yeah, I do think Carrie. Yeah, Ben. We never learned what Ben's like thing is. He seems normal.
Yeah,
all the way
he does
through.
seem nice and normal. Yeah,
she never found anything. And so I do think she kind of got in that moment because he probably was just fine. His friend's a fucking weirdo, but whatever. They bond over anime or whatever the hell some shit. You know what I mean? Like, or that's his best friend from like 5th grade or something. You know, they just hang on to friends like that. So that sucks. But yeah, I remember for me, I thought a big part of me falling for Nate was his friends. I met his friends very early on, and it confirmed for me that he was as good as he seemed. So in my head, I was very much like, oh, you are the company that you keep. His company is good people. And that made me kind of rest assured that he was a good person.
Okay.
But that doesn't always check. I don't think.
No.
With men. Definitely not. Now, Carrie gets to snooping.
Yeah.
And this form of self-sabotage, I think, is more common than not.
This is where women get freaky. This is where straight women, we get real freaky.
Yeah. And it's tough when you're single for a while and you, like Carrie, you've been on a string of bad dates or med dates or whatever, and then finally you meet somebody who seems real promising, and it's been a while since you've had something good like this. It's hard to trust it. It is.
Yeah.
Why do you think that is? Is it just the numbers game of dating?
Yeah.
Like,
this is why I thought it was so interesting. The hope is one of the first words in this episode.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Because this is not very hopeful. Right? And I feel like it's much easier to think somebody's terrible and wait for the other shoe to drop than to be hopeful that they're great.
Yeah, that's true.
It's a lot easier.
Yeah, because you could say to yourself, "Oh, I told you so."
I knew it.
We knew it. We knew it. It's fine. So you don't have to get too invested in it. It's like, all right, just on to the next. This is what happens.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Damn. Yeah, it is easier. It's just sad, but it is easier to live in that state.
Definitely. I think that's the case with so many different areas of life. So many different things. Finance, you could think like, oh, I'm never going to get a raise. I'm never going to get a promotion. I'm just going to stay admin assistant or whatever the fuck. And you just never do it because you don't want to get rejected.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. It's like you want to do the breaking up first, or you want to do the...
Yeah, you're protecting yourself.
You're protecting yourself, yeah. Yeah, I think after years of dating, you start to become conditioned to... It's just going to fall apart, you know? Or the other shoe's gonna drop. And when you're used to it when you're used to going so bad, it's the good feels unnatural.
Yes, right. And your gut is off. Your instincts are off. You're all the way thrown off. And I think, you know what? As ladies, aren't we natural researchers? Right? You know? So we just want to do our own. Sometimes we need a little space.
Yeah.
When that nigga's at the bodega.
Get the shuffling in
and you get the snooping in that medicine cabinet.
If you look though, you're gonna find something. That's the thing though.
I know. I guess so.
Are you a snooper?
What? The snooper extraordinaire.
Like in their apartment, going through their shit
all the way through everything.
And have you found stuff?
No, not always.
You're gonna find something. Oh, okay.
No, not always.
Yeah. That would make me so nervous.
Snooping.
The snooping, yeah.
I know. It's something about it. I like the thrill.
The thrill. You're living for the thrill. I'm like terrified. He's going to walk in at any moment. I can't.
Oh, because I timed it just right.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Gross. I don't do it anymore, obviously. And I didn't do it when I was first dating Crunch. Did I do this? I'm trying to think.
Yeah, did you do
looking
this
through his apartment? Because he had an apartment with his brother. So that'd be like real wild if I was snooping through the brother's shit too.
That's
that'd be like,
much
real crazy. But I didn't really snoop. I just snooped in the bathroom, that's for sure. I always snoop in the bathroom. What?
Oh, yeah. Look in the medicine cabinet. See what's there. Yeah.
Turn around the bottle. What is this? What's this for?
Yeah.
You know?
Oh, my God.
But otherwise, my gut was just telling me that he's fine. But also, I knew him for a year and a half before that. So that's also a thing.
Yeah. So I was able to check out. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I love this part of the episode. Carrie just looks nuts, but I think this was very relatable for people because it's tough when you finally get something good to actually let it be good. It's really, really hard to just, because the good feels so unnatural. It's been a long time. What do you mean that he's all checked out? He got all his teeth and he's got a good job? What? Like, what do you mean? It can't be real. Go ahead.
Do you think that this is the equivalent, though, of us snooping on the internet?
Oh, yeah. See, that type of snooping, that I do. I knew way more about Nate than he could ever think I knew going into that first date.
Yes. Because he had social, right? A little bit. Did he have Facebook?
He had a LinkedIn. And then he had his own little like professional website, little portfolio and stuff.
Really?
So I got to see like a few more pictures on there. But no, his Instagram was private and he doesn't post on Instagram.
Yeah, and he doesn't post anything. Yeah.
No, and I don't think I saw his Facebook. But LinkedIn and that little website just gave me more photos.
Oh,
and a little, bio. You know, on LinkedIn you have your little bios. I could read a little bit more.
Yeah.
But the other guy, I mean, Nate, he just doesn't have much of a digital footprint, so that's like the best I could find. Other guys, I remember this one guy, I found his live journal, girl. It's a live journal from like
that's
college, I
horrifying.
think, but it was public. And it didn't take me that much to find.
No.
I had his name and I don't even know what I typed, like a few other information, and his full fucking like diary came up. And I read a good little chunk of it before I went on the date.
You did not. What was he writing about?
I can't remember. This was forever ago. But it was like years before. It was like a window into him in college. It was interesting because it wasn't like a current live journal, but it was seeing like his little college life and a little bit about him. But
yeah.
So yeah, that type of snooping, the online snooping, yeah, I could do that. And I guess that back then, Carrie's days, they didn't really have that. So this is what they needed to do.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. They would probably all gather around her one computer with the Wi-Fi plugged into the wall to the phone jack and do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's true.
Oh my God. Yeah, I snooped the fuck out of Crunch before, and I knew him. I worked with this man.
Yeah.
Yeah, still. All the way in.
Does he have zero digital footprint? He has nothing online.
Almost nothing. He has a LinkedIn.
Oh,
and he has this semblance of a Facebook.
What does that mean?
Like he has like a profile picture.
Okay.
And I don't even think he knows his password anymore.
But he's up, like he has a profile,
it's up.
I guess.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Didn't take me long to get his mom though. So
she has a digital footprint.
Yep.
That for sure. Yeah. Yeah, I think we all do what we need to do to try to like verify or validate our goods. But yeah, I think everybody can share in that. Sometimes we watched it this season on The Bachelorette. When you have a good thing, just letting it be a good thing. Trusting in it being a good thing. That is very, very hard to do when you've been burned for so long. This weekend we had a little park day, and a guy friend actually, he's in a new relationship. She's fabulous. Loved her from the time I met her. Like, I'm like, oh great, got a good one. But the last girl that he dated turned out to be married. So and that was after the other one did this, and then the other one before that did that. Like, just a string of foolishness. And then this new girl now, she genuinely is just so great, just like natural, great conversationalist. She and I hit it off really good. Like she's just a very easy breezy person.
Age appropriate.
Age appropriate, same
fabulous.
age, good job, nice family. Like
Great.
she's just a great girl. I'm like very, very happy for him. But he did say, he's like, for so long he was sitting on pins and needles, just like waiting for something. Because imagine that scarring after being with somebody who turned out to be married.
Turned out to be married. Because they were using you for something so much bigger than you'll ever know.
Yeah, right. And you're a full pawn in this game. And meanwhile, you were like literally falling in love with this person. Like horrible. So we were just talking about that, and he's in a really good place with this girl, but just about that like journey of like finally just like breathing into it being good, and just like allowing it to be good and not waiting for her to like turn crazy or like some fuck shit to happen. So the men, they go through it too sometimes. But yeah, I think that's all I had, friend.
Yeah, I mean, listen, everybody's a little freaky.
Everyone's a little freaky.
Just make sure you get consent,
Yes. Fucking Samantha, the guy in the dungeon. Like,
don't do that.
Don't do that.
I should know before.
Please. Yeah, I feel like what I learned this episode is like we're all in this together. We all, men and women, feel like there's no good one left, and everybody who's left is terrible, and I'm gonna be single forever. And like, I think we're all kind of in good company. This episode really just showed dating just in general, no matter what time whether it's in 2024 or 2001, it's just tough. It's one of the hardest things to do is to find your person, to find your one person. It is probably the biggest feat in life to find the person and then to like
stick with it.
Stick with it. Yeah. To commit to it. And so it just takes time. And I love how she ended the episode too. Like we're all freaks, and there's a freak out there that's going to be your freak too, at some point. We're all freaks. We're all just finding our freak, and we all align in freakness, and that's it. There's that really cute Dr. Seuss quote, like we're all it's similar to this. It's like we're all weirdos, and one day you'll find your a similar weirdo and you bond together in weirdness and blah, blah, blah. And that's what it is. We're all a little bit weird. Just trying to find the one that gets your brand of weirdness.
Yes.
You know?
Do you wait before we end the episode? I do have to ask you this. Is there like a thing that you thought was weird or special or something like that with Nate that you like exposed to him and he loves it about you because it's weird?
Wait, something about him?
Both. Something about him, something about you.
I mean, first date, I learned he comes from a family that is in the funeral business.
Buries people, yeah.
Yeah. And I was like, oh my God, this is the coolest thing ever. If you know anything about me, I love horror movies. I'm into just like morbid shit, crime, serial killers. I'm listening and watching all that shit. And so that didn't turn me off like at all. I like leaned into it and I was like, that's such an interesting, weird fact of like fun fact. That's always Nate's fun fact. If you're in a circle of like, what's your fun fact? He's like, I come from a family funeral. I thought it was just like the most fun fact that didn't turn me off. If anything, I was like, oh my God, I love it. It's so cool. Also just the way how we both like geek out on like education.
Human rights.
Human rights, yes, seriously. Social justice and like education, giving back to the youth, like helping young Black kids. Like that was something that genuinely bonded us from our first date. And that's like I could have never like that wasn't one of the things I was looking for.
Yes, I remember you saying this on New Year's.
Yeah.
I remember you saying this.
Yes. It was just such a nice bonus that he's as passionate about these things as I am.
Yeah.
And that's like a little weird quirk that I just like, oh, that's like his little freaky thing that I just like lived for, you know?
Yeah.
So we're all just trying to find our little, you know, mutual freak out there. What about you? What Crunch?
God. I love how much history he knows.
Oh, you did say he's like a history buff.
History buff, also geography buff.
Oh, I love it. I love
it.
Nice.
Oh my God. I've told this as many times too. Every time we go to the Met, he knows every weapon in there. In the basement.
God,
he knows
really?
all of them. He knows every statue. He knows everything. And he's like, look, babe, this is when the Roman Empire did it. You want to talk about the Roman motherfucking Empire, nigga? Don't ask this nigga, okay?
Yeah.
Thinks about it twice a day, I'm sure.
Oh my God.
He just loves history.
Yeah.
Which I love. And I love having it in a partner, especially as somebody who, as a podcaster, I now take history more seriously than I ever have before, because I feel like I really have to watch my words. I really got to watch what I'm saying. Really got to watch like where I'm falling into in terms of patriarchy, racism, white supremacy. Like I've had to like, you know what I mean?
Mindful.
So I'm watching history closer than I ever have. To have him as a partner is a huge bonus.
Yeah.
And how much he loves anime too. I like love it. I love it.
Yeah. The things that they nerd out on.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you don't have to share the same like nerd. Like there's
not at all.
Loves crypto and all this shit. Like
digital.
Digital currency, whatever. I don't know. But like
we still don't know.
I don't know. Web 3, blockchain. Like I know the terms. He talks about them a lot, but I don't know none about these things.
That's how I
But
feel
he
about
loves it.
The anime. Yeah.
He's so passionate about it, right? And you're like, you know what? So cute. Look at you go. Yes. For other women, it would give them the ick, right?
Yes. Yep.
That would absolutely give them the ick.
Yeah. And he loves how much I love like makeup and hair and ingredients.
See? Yes. Those are your things. Yeah. Yeah. Everybody's a freak.
A little bit.
Everybody's a little bit of a freak.
Or a lot of it.
And then they out here still.
Yeah, well, then you might have a costume.
Shuffling along.
Or you might be hanging from something. But as long as you find someone else who can pull you.
Yeah.
And get you. Then it's all good.
It's all good. Have fun, friend. Guys, let us know. Are people freaks? Is everyone a freak?
Yeah. You know what? If you're on Patreon, leave your freaky thing down below. Mine is that I look at the back of every bottle and Google the top 5 ingredients to see their chemical compound. Let us know.
What is yours? What is your equivalent of that freaky ass shit? Rate, review, subscribe, join the Rose Garden on Patreon, find us on Instagram, TikTok, all that good stuff, and we'll be back next week.
Sure will. Bye, guys.
Bye.